Right now on Up with KREM, a surge in COVID-19 cases has state leaders issuing a new order.
It's understandable, I think, that some have been hesitant up till now.
Who is now required to get the vaccine?
Temperatures are on the rise across the inland Northwest. We're talking the return of upper 90s and triple digits as we head through the week. I'll let you know when it all arrives and when it all leaves.
A brawl in downtown Portland. Why police were not able to respond to the clashes.
We need to demonstrate to the American people that we can work together in this Congress to pass major legislation that benefits our country.
The Senate is set for a final vote on the $1 trillion infrastructure bill. This morning, bipartisan support for the plan appears to be growing.
It's one of the FBI's greatest unsolved mysteries, but one historian thinks he cracked the case of D.B. Cooper.
Up with KREM starts right now.
It's official. Washington state has a vaccine mandate. It applies to public employees for state cabinet agencies and healthcare workers.
That's why we want to hear from you this morning. Who do you think should be mandated to get the vaccine? Let us know by texting us at 509-448-2000. We've already received a few responses. We'll talk about your messages all morning long here on Up with KREM.
Well, good morning and happy Tuesday. Thanks so much for joining us on Up with KREM.
Yeah, glad to have you here with us. And I like how Channing says happy. Tuesdays can be happy. Jeremy's chilling out there on the patio. And he was not a big fan of Tuesday. But we're going to change that. Turn that frown upside down, Mr. Lagoo.
I'm not frowning, it's just a fact.
It's a good day.
It's a great day.
You know what? It is Taco Tuesday.
Yes.
Where can we find the positive in Tuesday?
Tacos.
That's right. So, Jeremy, you're chilling out there because it feels wonderful, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. I told you guys earlier, I said, I'm going outside to just drink my coffee and sit and enjoy the morning, and I'm going, I feel like I'm going to get in trouble because this is so lovely. It can't be this lovely and still called work, or can it? Well, early on this morning, we do have some mild temperatures. It is a beautiful start to the day. How about 57 degrees? Oh, it feels wonderful out here. And I can hear some cars already out, so some people are already outside enjoying it. I highly recommend just taking a moment, just breathing some decently fresh air out here and enjoying it. We are sitting right at 6:02 early on this morning, and temperatures in the 50s just about everywhere. How about right at 50 in Sandpoint, 59 in Coeur d'Alene, and 57 here in Spokane, 55 if you move your way out toward Moses Lake, and still sitting at 68 there in Wenatchee. Got a little bit of wind picking up today. We'll see that kind of shift toward more westerly later on this afternoon. I think it does get a bit gusty at times. AQI still sitting at 59, so we are on the moderate range. We're on the low end of moderate, so you still can open those windows, let in some of this cool air before the heat really starts to build. And right now we've got a little bit of cloud cover. Those clouds are absolutely gorgeous, but they're starting to dissipate now. I was actually just staring off into the distance thinking, those clouds really are dissipating. Highs in the upper 90s and low 100s in the next few days. So today's kind of our last day of a break from some of the heat, and then it really starts to build. So if you have any yard work, if you've been putting it off, today's the day. Temps climbing up into the upper 80s, and by tomorrow we're 10 degrees warmer. So if today feels hot, get all your outside chores done, because tomorrow, even hotter.
COVID cases are increasing here in the inland Northwest, and health experts say it's because of the Delta variant.
In an effort to slow the spread of the virus, Washington Governor Jay Inslee announcing a new vaccine mandate. Nicole Hernandez joins us now this morning. Nicole, we want you to talk about who's required to get that COVID vaccine in the state, because there was a lot to cover when it comes to what the governor announced.
Yeah, absolutely, Tim. So there's really just this whole new list of workers that will have to be fully vaccinated by October now, according to Governor Inslee's new vaccine mandate. So take a look at your screen here. Here's a list of exactly who is included in this new vaccine mandate. First of all, public employees for state cabinet agencies must be vaccinated. This also includes state contractors. Second, all public or private healthcare workers in Washington, plus workers in long-term care facilities. The new mandate does not apply to separately elected elected state leaders or their employees. Those are people like the Attorney General's office, but those offices largely are actually requiring vaccines on their own. It also does not apply to K through 12 schools or higher education. Now, for those workers who it does apply to, they will need to be fully vaccinated by October 18th. Employers are responsible for making sure that their workers are vaccinated, and if employees refuse, they can be fired. Governor Inslee said that with the Delta variant threatening the state's recovery, the time for wavering on the vaccine is over.
You know, it's understandable, I think, that some have been hesitant up till now. It's understandable they would ask questions about this vaccine. It's a new vaccine, by the way. But now we have had over 300 million people take this vaccine safely. Over 165 million Americans are already successfully vaccinated. This vaccine has now been armed for over a year, safely and effectively.
Now, Inslee said that this is all under his emergency pandemic authority, but at the moment he is not issuing any new mask mandates. We were able to speak also with the spokesperson from the city of Spokane and the spokesperson from Spokane County. Both of them said that they at this point are not considering any specific vaccine mandates for people here in the Spokane area. Live in Spokane, I'm Nicole Hernandez.
So this mandate will have a huge impact on the state's long-term care facilities, where it's estimated less than 70% of the state workers are vaccinated.
Now, with the vaccine mandate, Washington Healthcare Association President Robin Dale hopes to see a much-needed boost in staff vaccination at long-term care facilities. Right now, he's worried that low numbers could lead to a new surge in cases among the state's most vulnerable population.
That's a head scratcher for me. I haven't figured out why individuals will choose to work and be around elders who are so susceptible to this and at the same time not get vaccinated.
Now, he also points out long-term care facilities are already in a staffing crisis. Dale wants to see the state prepare teams like travel nurses who can assist when unvaccinated staff have to be let go.
Now, while state officials are worrying about a rising number of cases in those facilities, locally caregiving facilities are worried about keeping their staff.
A teacher of administrator courses for family homes spoke with KREM 2, and she says the mandate is just another obstacle to keep caregiving facilities staffed, and says that workers will leave jobs instead of getting the vaccine.
I have people texting me, have been texting me all afternoon saying, Amanda, I have 12 staff. They're going to walk away. If they walk away, I'm going to have to close my doors. What are we going to do with the elderly people? I have caregivers. They're texting me saying, I guess I'm out of a job October 18th. Maybe I'll move to Kentucky. Laugh out loud. These guys aren't going to be forced to be mandated. We are going to lose a lot of the workforce.
With the mandate, she worries about the quality of care deteriorating simply because the workers will go elsewhere.
Now, Washington state officials are not the only ones with a vaccine mandate. The Pentagon will soon require all members of the U.S. military to be vaccinated against COVID-19 as well. In a memo distributed to troops, Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin said a healthy armed forces is necessary for national security. The rule is expected to go into effect next month.
So all of this comes as cases in the inland Northwest continue to grow. Across the state line in Idaho, Kootenai Health says it has the highest COVID-19 inpatient volumes in the state.
According to Kootenai Health, since the beginning of the surge, 97% of their COVID-19 patients requiring a hospitalization are unvaccinated. Now, because of the high capacity in hospitals, most elective surgeries have been postponed up to 8 weeks.
And while the new mandate does not cross the state line, officials are urging people to get the vaccine.
Now, of course, here at KREM, we want to make sure that you are getting more to every story. So we've made finding more information as easy as possible.
If you would like to read more about the vaccine mandate or about hospitalizations in North Idaho, you can text the word vaccine to 509-448-2000. We'll send that information right to your phone.
The time is now 6:09 and it's time for your morning rush. More news in less time.
Let's get right to it. COVID cases in Ferry and Stevens County have nearly tripled in just the past 2 weeks. Health officials in Northeast Washington are asking the Department of Health to send a strike team. Ferry, Stevens, and Pend Oreille counties are now experiencing high transmission rates. All three areas have vaccination rates averaging in the 30 to 40% range.
The Spokane Tribe of Indians has issued a mask mandate for tribal employees. All employees and visitors must wear a mask while inside tribal government facilities. This is for unvaccinated and vaccinated people. The deputy executive director said failure to wear a mask could result in immediate removal from the premises. Employees could also face disciplinary actions for insubordination.
The nation's Interior Secretary met with tribal leaders on Washington's coast on Monday.
You don't really understand how important a place is to a community of people until you're actually there with them.
Alliance says President Biden's infrastructure package could provide hundreds of millions of dollars for coastal tribes to relocate to higher ground. Back in January, a storm caused a flood, which prompted evacuations in some tribes.
And a heads up, there will be a test of the National Emergency Alert System tomorrow. The alert will be sent to TVs, radios, and cell phones at 11:20 a.m. Pacific time. It will last 1 minute. The Federal Emergency Management Agency says it's just part of your regular testing. Now that's your Morning Rush. More news in less time. Let us know what's happening in your neighborhood by using the hashtag #UpWithKREM on social media.
Stunning claims in a new lawsuit against Britain's Prince Andrew from an alleged victim of infamous sex offender Jeffrey Epstein.
It may have taken all weekend, but the Senate is now finally on the precipice of passing major bipartisan infrastructure legislation.
Bipartisan support for the $1 trillion infrastructure bill took longer than expected, but nation leaders are finally moving forward with a vote today.
And we've been pretty normal the past few days in terms of weather across the inland Northwest. But believe it or not, another round of heat is working its way toward us. I'll let you know when it arrives, how long it lasts, and just how warm we're going to get.